It's time now for a special feature of the Glendale Devotional Podcast. The speaker is pastor, evangelist, and natural horsemanship trainer Ron Plymel. Now, here's Brother Ron.
Well, let me welcome everyone to this week's special edition of the Glendale Devotional Podcast of Freedom Friday. And let me just take us right on into our time of devotion today. And this month we have been centering our devotions around the idea of Thanksgiving. The first week we simply had a generalized version of thanks for the way that God blesses and how He also works. Isn't it really amazing how God can take a simple interest that we may have or a passion that we may carry and use it for His glory and for the upbuilding of His kingdom? That's what we have been able to witness through our work and ministry here at Greener Grass Ministries and Horsemanship. The second week of our Thanksgiving was based upon God's exclusiveness. That is, God's love is so big and so great that no one is left out. No one is excluded from His circle of love. We also mentioned last week that we could also look upon this same idea of blessing as God's inclusiveness as well. That is, everyone can be included in His circle of love. It doesn't really matter what we have done, or how many times we have done it, or even what we have not done. We can still be included in God's realm, His circle of love. And then last week we noted how Thanksgiving could be generated around the blessing of choice. That even though God has some expectations and some guidelines, even some rules or laws that need to be obeyed, He doesn't force them upon us or try to make us do them. He gives us a choice. And much like what we experience in the horse world with our training, the right choices are beneficiaries of blessings, and the wrong choices carry the heartache of consequences. Well, this afternoon I would like for us to consider one other area of Thanksgiving. And while this list is small, let us remember that the overall list is much grander and greater. But item number 4, in regard to our Thanksgiving, is our blessing of provision. God is a God of provision. The Apostle Paul wrote in Philippians 4, verse 19, from the New Living Translation, it reads, "And this same God who takes care of me will supply all your needs from His glorious riches, which have been given to us in Christ Jesus." You know, that's a very similar scenario that occurs with our horses and even to those horses that we would bring into our program of training. It was our responsibility to meet their needs as long as they were here, whether it was hoof care or a trip to the vet or the simple necessity of food, water, and hay. And then there was, of course, the education and the training itself. But it was up to us as their master, if you will, to take care and to supply all their needs. And that's what God does for us. He supplies our needs. He takes care of us as a loving Father. The hymn writer put it like this: "Now thank we all our God with heart and hands and voices, who wondrous things have done, in whom His world rejoices, who from our mother's arms hath blessed us on our way with countless gifts of love, and still is ours today." What wondrous gifts and blessings God has given us. I mean, have you ever considered the things that we so easily take for granted? Working within the hospice world, as I now do, we are reminded often of some of the simple things in life for which we should carry thanks. The ability to get out of bed in the morning and walk to the kitchen for a cup of coffee of our own ability. To get out of the house and go to a job, or to go out to exercise, or to go and be with friends. To live comfortably in a house with heat and air. To have running water, to be able to get a good breath of air when you breathe. And of course, on and on we could go. But my point in all this is simply to call upon each of us as individuals, as couples, as families, as churches, as communities, etc., to not just look for a day of Thanksgiving, but rather seek to have daily Thanksgiving. For God is a good, good God. He is a providing God. Let us all ever be thankful. May you be blessed in your journey, and until next time, may God truly bless the trails